Hello, my name is Robin Lee, Thomasville City Schools District Curriculum Specialist. I would like to share with you that I was a student at Liberty Drive and a teacher at Liberty Drive for several years. My first years of teaching started at Liberty Drive Elementary School. It is my pleasure to read for you pages 107 to 120 from the book, The One and Only Bob. Gift. Once I'm in my spot, I don't have to do a thing because Ivan and Ruby always know when I'm there. Gorillas and elephants have great schnauzers too. Also, I pride myself on staying fragrant. It's a gift. Ivan. Ivan gets me first. Bob. He knuckle walks up the hill. Knuckle runs actually. And he looks as glad to see me as I am to see him. It seems like I've known Ivan forever, and yet every single time I see him, I feel kind of awed. He's so powerful, so huge, like this magnificent silver mountain that just happens to be my best buddy. Hi, Ivan, Julia calls, waving. He cocks his head and makes a soft belch, which is gorilla for I'm happy. Maya calls out to Julia from the door to the gorilla's indoor space. Maya's a zoologist, which is a hoity-toity way of saying she has a thing for animals. It was Maya and a lot of other good folks who helped get Ivan and the rest of the mall animals moved to better places. Julia unhooks my string and gives me a stern look. No funny business, you, she says, and then she kisses me on the head. And stay out of sight. Ivan sidles up as close to the stone wall as he can get. I was worried you wouldn't come today, he says, weather and all. Another hurricane, I say. It's freaking everybody out. Above me, magnolia branches sway. Leaves rustle and shiver. Even the trees seem uneasy. What's new? Ivan asks. He lies back on the grass and wriggles contentedly, scratching an itch, no doubt. Not much. Had a weird dream last night. I paused. You were in it, and me, and Ruby, and Stella too. Ivan gazes at the darkening sky. Stella, he says. Now, there was a great friend. Classiest elephant you ever hoped to meet. The best, I agree. I miss that old gal. We fall silent. All good with you? I asked after a moment. No point in dwelling on sad stuff or bad dreams. Kenyani's getting on my nerves a bit. Ivan do this. Ivan do that. But she means well. Kenyani is Ivan's lady friend. Girlfriend? I've never been sure what they call it in Gorilla. Kenyani doesn't really approve of me. She thinks I'm a bad influence on Ivan. I like to think she's right. Ivan is 400 pounds of pure power, but Kenyani's is 400 times scarier. Trust me, I've seen her in a bad mood. I've also seen her teeth make mine look like toothpicks. Ivan and Kenyani don't have kids, but there are a bunch of baby and juvenile gorillas hanging around. They call him Uncle Ivan, and he puts up with all their antics. Ivan always been a good sport. If I had a gorilla toddler hanging off on me, I'll be tempted to use my toothpick teeth. Marriage. Ivan and Kenyani are a lot like George and Sarah, as far as I can tell. They grumble, they cuddle, they help each other, they tease each other. Sometimes it looks pretty nice. Still and all, when I smell love, I almost always smell worry. Seems like they've tangled together so tightly, they'll never unravel. There's a reason I avoid all that mushy stuff. One big difference I have noticed between the two couples, Ivan and Kiani enjoy eating bugs off each other. George and Sarah, not so much. Ivan always seems like nothing scares him, not even Kiani, who scares the heck out of me. On the outside, I suppose that's how I look too, tiny and but tough. But inside, well, sometimes, no matter how hard I try, I can't find that guy to save my life. It's like he's cowering in some corner of my heart. I hate it when that happens. I hate that I'm not the guy my friends think I am, the guy the world expects. I keep waiting for things to go bad on me, worrying that my nice, tidy little dog life will blow up in my face. I think George is a worrier too, a worrier too. He'll get up in the middle of the night and he'll head to the kitchen sometimes. His old slippers scuffing on the wooden floor. I always hear him. I always join him. When he opens the fridge, the light spills out like maple syrup on a hot pancake. Wonderful scents drift my way. Leftover meatloaf, stinky cheese, expired yogurt that someone might as well eat. And it seems like the dog is the safest bet. The smells rain around me. And yeah, my tongue starts hanging out. A nudge, and I nudge George's PJ leg. You can't sleep either, huh? He'll say. Or maybe. I can't tell if you have insomnia or just a very cute sense of smell. Both, actually. I wait. He usually makes himself a PB&J with banana, which is good with me because the crust are where you really get that fun chew factor going. Now and then, after we eat, we sit on the back porch and George scratches my ear, especially my right ear. It's my favorite. I understand his worry, I think. George works so hard. His wife was really sick for a long time, and he loves his daughter so, so much. Sometime when Julia climbs on the school bus, I'll watch George watching her. All the caring and the concern is painful to smell, especially the briny scent of the stray tear he flick aside with the back of his hand like sea spray. More than once, George and I have dozed off together. That's the best kind of snooze, if you ask me. Good, warm, safe in someone's arms sleep. Not talking. Often when I'm with Ivan, we don't even bother talking. We just look out in his domain at the green grass and the crazy babies and the swandering juveniles and the hardworking females, and we think of nothing and everything. When you're being through the worst with someone, you appreciate the best. That's why sometimes when he says, "Hey, Bob," it's just enough for me to say, "Hey, Ivan." And then we just listen to the palm trees rustle and watch the soft grass sway. Brave. Once when we still Once when we were still at the mall, I told Ivan how brave I thought he was. The way he put up with everything that happened to him and never stopped being a good guy. Ivan just looked at me, cocked that big old head of his, nodded a bit. "That's not brave, Bob," he finally said. "That's just knowing what I can't change." "I call it brave," I said. "I call it crazy brave." Ivan held a browning banana up to the light, like it was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen in his long gorilla life. I wondered whether he was going to eat it or draw it. You never knew with Ivan. "Seems to me there are lots of ways to be brave, Bob," he said. A tiny mouse named Eek skittered across his cage floor. "Hey, Eek," said Ivan. Just checking for crumbs, she said nervously, but she always sounded nervous. Dibs on all the leftovers, I reminded her. She looked so terrified that I relented. Over there behind the tire, old Carrot Top. Respect, Bob, she said, scampering off. Take a small creature like Eek, said Ivan. He scratched his chin with the end of the banana. He did that when he was in a physiological mood. Maybe brave for a mouse is different from brave for you, or brave for me. He looked at me fondly. You're the bravest dog I know, pal. I ain't brave. I chewed on my tail, avoiding his gaze. You are, Bob, untamed and undaunted, said Ivan, and he chopped off a hunk of banana. He offered the rest to me, but I shook my head. I wasn't feeling hungry. Also, it was mostly just peel. That's just my routine. I hesitated. I mean, sure, I'm tough compared to, say, Eek, but that's setting the bar pretty low. You too hard on yourself sometimes, Bob. I met his eyes. He has these dark brown, deep-set eyes, really kind ones. Eyes that make you want to admit things, confess to your failures. Once when I was little, just a pup, I did something. Ivan waited patiently. Ivan is the king of patience. I felt himself dashing into a dead end tunnel I couldn't escape. I didn't want to go there, not even with Ivan. Never mind, I yawned. I do that when I'm anxious. I'm rambling. Bob, Ivan said, you okay? You know me, Ivan. I'm always okay. Always. I slipped away before he could ask me anything more. Thank you for listening.